about Pauline, which is about confidence.
Okay.
Which obviously, well, you haven't bucket loads from what I can see.
I don't know.
You come across as very confident,
right. Okay.
and I think it's nice when looking at another woman in a business. It's nice to see you're here on your own every day, and it's no bother to you.
No.
So I just wanted to ask you. You know, typically one of the barriers is confidence for women going into these fields, and we've spoken a wee bit about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, then starting up your own business can be daunting as well. So if you had any tips, or how could we encourage young women into this field?
Okay, well, I think in terms of confidence, I mean, maybe I do come across as confident, but, you know, my confidence, like everybody else, it is up and down and up and down. There are days where you get praise from clients, and I think there's nobody like me.
Good.
And then there's days that there's criticism.
Yeah.
Some of the criticism would come because clients, if they're not in the building game, contractors or architects, if it's a domestic client, they sometimes don't really know exactly what they're paying me to do.
Yes.
And it's like, well, you didn't tell me the paint colour to use, and anyway.
Small
so
things
if
like
there
that.
are criticisms like that, that can knock me a bit. But what I would say is, I guess the baseline confidence-wise for me is, I think I'm as good as the next person.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm better, but I'm not any worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of level that I try to stay on.
Yeah.
But confidence also comes from experience. I don't think you can be confident in a field when you don't know an awful lot about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm certainly more confident in my job now than I was 20 years ago or whatever, and it just purely comes down to the fact that I now know a lot more than I did back then. So I know in a meeting or whatever, I'm able to hold my own.
Yes.
And I'm not a graduate who's sitting thinking, you know, I've never heard those words before.
Yes.
And you're scared to ask a question because you don't want to appear
like you don't
stupid.
know anything. Yes.
You know, so I think as well as that, confidence comes from being with the right people, and the people who can instill and nurture a confidence. There are people, and I have been in these environments, people who, for whatever reason, do want to knock your confidence, and that applies to both male and female. It's not just a man thing.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel so strongly about this that I would say to women who are in that kind of working environment where they're going in every day and they feel that their confidence is being eroded, to really think seriously about continuing in that.
Okay.
You know, because
it can be that damaging.
It can be damaging, and it can take a long time to get your confidence back up again. You know, so I think that's very important. So in terms then of giving or talking to women about just encouraging them,
yes,
what I would say is that I went into business in 2006, and I knew a lot about engineering. I knew nothing about business, and that is the truth.
Okay.
I didn't know anything beyond I will work for someone and they will pay me. That was the limit of what I knew. I'd heard things like that and that. But what you do is you get someone who does know, and I got myself an accountant.
Yes.
To keep me right and to tell me about VAT returns and tax returns and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's important to get somebody who knows what they're talking about.
It is, but you know,
don't.
for women, don't think, you know, oh, but I don't know anything about business. How could I possibly do that? You know, I didn't, and it's no big deal. You do learn as you go along, but just get somebody there who
at
keep
the
you
start.
right and make sure that you're not doing anything illegal. I think the other thing about setting up a business in engineering or STEM, and this will maybe encourage some women, simplistically, you need a calculator and some professional indemnity insurance.
Okay.
That is it. You know, okay, to look a bit more professional, you're going to get some stationery and calculation sheets and business cards. You're probably going to have a computer or a laptop,
website,
you know, and yes, a website, of course. But you know, those things don't cost an awful lot of money. So it's not that you have to say, gosh, you know, I need to go to the bank and borrow £50,000. You can really set up and start working on a very tight budget.
Okay.
I think for women who have children, or women who see themselves having children in the future, I think this is just so ideal.
Yeah.
A business for people like that, or people who are maybe carers or whatever. So they want a career,
but they want flexible.
But they want flexibility, and they want to be a good carer or a good mother.
Yeah, I think it's
at the same
important.
time. And I think it is just perfect. As I say before, you know, I'm able to do. I probably work harder now than I did.
That's what I was just going to say to you. Whenever you work for yourself, I suppose you obviously have to be quite motivated, because there's nobody here coming in at the end of the day saying, here's the tick list, have you done it? Yeah. But you can do that for yourself.
Yeah, but I think the motivation comes from the fact that, you know, I got the job.
Yes.
You know, I'm doing the job. And I'm going to get paid for the job.
Yes.
So that in itself,
it's all off your own back.
It's my own back. You know, it's not a boss slapping down a set of drawings and telling me they need to be finished for Friday. You know, it's me talking to the client and saying, you know, when's it needed for? Well, I can't do that, but we'll maybe try and do this. And so that's the kind of motivation. So I do probably work longer hours, but it doesn't feel it.
Yeah, because you can pick, I suppose, if you need to take a 2 or 3 hour lunch because you need to go to the dentist or whatever it is.
Yeah, don't say hairdresser. No,
no, of course not, Pauline.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, I think that is such an attraction to the whole thing. And the other thing I would say is, and someone told me this, there are only 2 things in life that you can't change, and that's birth and death. Everything else you can change to some degree.
Yes.
So, you know, if you decide, these ladies decide to go into business and engineering or STEM, and they give it a go for a year, and at the end of the year or 2 years they say, well, either things didn't work out, or they say, do you know, this just isn't me.
Yeah.
I want my paycheck at the end of every month. I don't want that responsibility. You just go and get a job, and
you always have
I don't think there's anything to be ashamed about by saying, you know, I tried it for a year. I know if I was recruiting someone and they had tried a business for a year, I would be impressed by that.
Yes.
I wouldn't think, oh, they're a failure.
Yeah.
You know, I think it is a
brave
gutsy thing to do.
Definitely.
So so hopefully those things will maybe inspire a few ladies.
That's great, Pauline. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. It's I feel like it's very inspiring.
Oh, that's good.
And I think that a lot of people will hopefully see this video, and a lot of girls will be inspired by you.
I hope so.
And Canis, do we have any questions or?
No, we had a lot of very positive comments from women watching in.
Okay, that's good.
And there's one there now from Mary, just about another great point. Don't be afraid of failure.
Yes.
We had quite a few comments from Laura just about how inspirational you are.
Oh.
Particularly when, you know, there wasn't maybe women engineers.
No.
We had more comments then just around loving the honesty and about confidence as being one of the challenges. So yeah.
Oh, very good.
I'm just asking if people are following here, just if anyone has any questions they want to put to Pauline and Catherine here. No, we just got very inspiring. Thank you. Well done. Loved it.
Pauline.
Another great point. So yeah, no, I think that's us. Thank you so much, Pauline, and thank you, Catherine.
Thank you very much for your time, Pauline. You're great.
Now, one of you sort of tech women's going to have to show me how to finish this, so you are like.
Okay, that's us.
Okay.
You got that off?
Yeah.